That reporting coming 14 days ahead of the election, at the peak of a campaign season in which Team Harris and Team Trump are fighting for every single vote in the battleground states. It's a campaign where, even if Donald Trump is a known quantity to most voters, most Americans, there are certain stories and certain revelations that both sides understand can and will still make an impact, especially when those stories and revelations come from people who were in the room where it happened, once deep inside Donald Trump's orbit.
I think this is one of those moments in a campaign that happens at the end that I think is more powerful than probably any political ad or any other thing that could have happened. I actually think this could be determinative. I remember in the wistful days of the 2000 campaign, just to give you a sort of insight in what can happen, when the DUI for George W. Bush appeared on the Thursday before Election Day. Now, think about this, a 24-year-old DUI. I mean, those were the days when a DUI could actually have impact on conservatives and Republicans because character mattered at that point. Flash forward now today, this much obviously dramatically worse, dramatically, completely out of sync in that DUI information. And this is why I counsel people to observe what this can do. It's not going to shift people from a Trump voter to a Harris voter. What it's likely to do is the same thing that happened with the DUI, which happened with the DUI. And I know this because I put 3 polls in the field after that happened in Ohio, Florida, and Michigan. And what changed was people's motivation to vote. There was about a 6 or 7% drop among conservatives and Republicans to vote for George W. Bush. And it took Michigan from a tie state to a state we were losing in a matter of 72 hours. It took Ohio from a comfortable state to a state we were barely winning, and it took Florida from a state that we were winning by 1 or 2 to a state that was tied. All of that happened over the course of 3 or 4 days. And again, it didn't do was shift a vote from from Al Gore to George, or from George W. Bush to Al Gore. What it did was it demotivated people that had suspicions about the character of George W. Bush then, but Donald Trump now. And I think one thing people ought to keep in mind why this could be so important in a 1 or 2 point shift in some of these key states is that 5 or 6% of people that are voting for Donald Trump today do not like him and do not think he has the character to be president, but they're voting for him. Those people, I think, will be fundamentally impacted by what the news that's come out in the last 24 hours.